Taylor Construction, the best construction company in the city. Rich, what's happening, good brother? Uncle Cheap. Oh, I hear that. Send me that transfer. Wave Junkie, what's happening, my man? He's waiting for the good fella Newt. Sweet treat, what's happening, big homie? Need that strawberry sensation in the morning. I'll be up there. What's going on? Make sure y'all share this out. We got my man Newt. Newt just jumped in.
What's going on?
Oh, snaps. You got the whole backdrop now. You know what I'm saying? I see you.
I had to make it do what it do, man.
I ain't mad at that, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Zabe just jumped in here, man. How you holding up?
Bro, man, today was a day. Like I was out at the properties. I'm getting one tight number. I got the granite slapped in today. So it was just like we moving. We just bumping and grinding right now, trying to get to the finish line.
Okay. All right. For those of you who don't know, again, my name is Anthony Lee, A. Lee Real Estate, licensed agent, father, husband, investor. Your favorite realtor in Philadelphia, man, licensed in New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. So we're making it happen. And we got the young fella, the MVP of the year last year, ran it up on him. Newt,
No
the
doubt.
entrepreneur, aka the credit young guru. You know what I mean? In the real estate, the real estate mogul in the making, you know what I'm saying? Making it happen, man.
No doubt.
So I wanted to get you back on here. We talked about credit last year when we had you, and now we see, you done leveled your credit up to start pushing you to the real estate game.
Yeah.
And just in the last year, what was it, 11 cribs in 1 year?
It was 11 units total.
Okay, 11.
Yeah.
11 units doing a multifamily conversion.
Yep. I did two conversions. I did three conversions, one single family, one was already zoned, one was already a duplex. So I just bought it like that and just made it nicer. But yeah, I did 11 units in 1 year. My year will be March 29th. So I'm like 10 months right now. 10, 11 months right now. So I'm trying to lock in another deal or so I can bump that number up from 11 to hopefully to 13 or 14.
I got you. Well, definitely salute to you, man. But in that process, just of a year, tell us about that journey as far as, because you also quit your job, fired your boss. So let's go to credit. What was the focal point with credit? Like, why'd you start with credit first?
Right. So the reason why I started with credit was because I was hearing everybody talk about, yo, you can remove your inquiries if you got denied for something. Yo, you can remove your inquiries if you was going to go seek one thing, but got a bunch of inquiries for that one thing. I kept hearing people talk about you didn't have to wait 2 years in order to remove your inquiry. So I'm like, wait, like you tell me I can get this off. So how it all started for me, when I was in college, I got a car. And when I went to instead of going, like now I know you go to the bank first and get the money, then go to the car dealership. At that time, no one told me that. I didn't know about this. So I went directly to the dealership. When I got to the dealership, they ran my credit 19 times. But I drove off the lot with one car. So as I started right, as I started doing my research, I found out that most of those inquiries, well, not most, everyone besides the one I got approved for has the right to be removed. That's where it all started for me. You know how as a kid, you just curious, you just reading and looking and touching things. That was me with the credit. So I then start finding different ways to remove the inquiries, but it wasn't consistent. Like I didn't keep getting the good results that I was seeking. It would happen one time, it won't happen the next time. It happened again, it won't happen again. So you know what I said? Now I got to find somebody who actually know how to do this. So I start exploring and taking courses and learning, and I start putting everything together. And then one day it all clicked for me. And after that, it was a game changer. Like somebody just said, game changer. After that, I was like, it was over. I was applying for stuff, removing the inquiry. I'm like, it was just a frenzy. So then I started a credit repair business, and I was helping people repair their credit. But now I'm out of the credit repair space. I'm just teaching people how to repair credit now. I'm no longer actually doing it, but I'll still get a game as to like what you need in order to learn and repair your credit for yourself, your family, and then others.
So we don't got to go into the credit part, right? But if
Right.
I'm a person that just wants to be bankable, what are the main things I need for my credit to show me as a strong candidate, whether I want to get business credit, personal credit, car loan, student loan? But if you could give me like just the basic fundamentals for me to walk away with, what would you say?
I would say no derogatory remarks. No derogatory remarks. Everything else is easy. Everything else is doable. When you have derogatory remarks, it look like you're not lendable. It's just that basic.
And
I don't. But
no, and what score would you say is like this from this threshold here, you can make some stuff happen?
so a month ago, a month ago I would have told you a 680. I'd have said you need a 680 credit score in order to be what in good standing with the banks, no matter what bank you go to. A 680 would have been good. However, over the last course of the months, over the last month, I have now found a new bank that approved you with a 620. So now I'm not telling you to have a 620. Still, the higher the better. But what I am saying is, it's a bank out here that's going to approve you with a 620.
You
So
you talking about for small credit,
what? When you say small credit, what you mean?
like little personal credit card,
This person got approved with a 620 for business credit.
credit card.
Business credit card, absolutely. With a
Okay.
6 credit score.
I mean, is it the bank that I know? Can I say it?
Uh, I mean, I put it out to the world, so yeah, you may know it now, but I'm not sure. You can say it.
Is it BMT? I'll
Yes,
just say,
yes, it is.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. BMT approved one of my mentees with the 630. She had a 634,
I
but
smell that money.
listen, 630.
Smell it.
634, y'all. So you got to just tap into that. So like I said, a month ago I'd have told you a 680, but now I can tell you 620 for BMT, 680 for everywhere else. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
So now that you got the credit plan, you understand how the credit works. So like you're in real estate, you're an investor, you're doing your thing. So like what was the part that like said like, yo, let me segue this to real estate? Or was real estate always the goal?
Um, Real estate was always the goal because so dating back a little bit, I went to ENS, which is George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science. So since a pup, I was like, oh, I wanted to do something like techie, like engineering, right? And then I enrolled in my bachelor's program at Morgan State University for construction management, which was years ago. Then I enrolled in my master's program to get my master's degree in engineering. So I always knew I wanted to do something along real estate and construction. I just didn't know what. Then as I start diving deep into it, I found out that like, these properties is the way to go. Then I start buying.
So that's interesting. You said Morgan State at HBCU had a bachelor's program
Yeah.
for construction management. So like just for people who don't know, what is construction management
So
entail?
construction management is literally the entire phases of running a project from start to finish, right?
So you go
So
to school for that for 4 years though.
exactly. So I went to school for that for 4 years. So for a real long time, like even when I got my first job out of graduate school, because I went to school, I went all through schooling, then I finally got a job after my graduate program. So just as of 2019, that was my first real job ever, right? I always worked at sneaker stores and McDonald's and stuff like that. That's my first real job. But then when they hired me as a construction manager, at that point I'm like, well, who would hire me somebody to do this when they do it themselves? That's kind of how I thought. But I'm like, yo, it's the real world out there of people who really want you to manage their projects. And literally, I was doing everything from budgeting, scheduling, reaching out to contractors, doing change orders, purchasing material, making sure things work right. But most importantly, staying in touch with the owner, letting them know where their progress is and what things
But
has.
this is for large projects though. These not like
Yeah,
for road.
yeah, these I'm talking about. I was building. Yeah, hotels. I was building 205 senior living homes, individual homes. I was building tunnels. I was built like some of the stuff that we drive across. I was a part of them projects. So all them bridges that we see going into New Jersey, stuff like that, we
Mhm.
did modifications to those bridges. But one of the biggest projects we did like a 275,000 square feet what is it, maintenance garage for the county of New Jersey. And
Oh,
everything from underground compressed air. It was just a lot. But being able to kind of be on that job and manage it from start to finish, and that was like a $14 million job. So, that's not no small money. So to be able to manage that project in all the phases from framing to electrical to mechanicals to sheetrock to painting to flooring, like I did almost everything. And to kind of go through that. So now when I'm looking at these properties with, 3 bed, 1 bath, I'm like, all right, like that ain't nothing. We did that times 10 already.
got you. Nah, that's real fascinating because I mean, I don't know too many places that offer, let alone a HBCU that offers, school like training in real estate.
Yeah.
I've heard of, everybody like I go to school for business. I go to school for business. Nah, like
Yeah.
that's a specific like trade skill set to go get, and even better, you get to go to a HBCU and do that.
Yep.
Um,
Phenomenal.
which is super dope. So all right, so you knew you wanted to get into real estate, so you did that, and you said 2019 is it just was only 2000, it's only 2021,
Right.
3 days ago,
I know. So
and that was short lived. Then
that was short lived. Like
you
it,
got you got
it
the ick. Let you start working from home. You said, "Oh, I like this."
Yep. So that's what kind of happened, right? So like soon as COVID came out, God willing, I was not laid off. I had a lot of my friends that was working in the same field, and not only working in the same field, but working at the same company. But their project, they were working on they was working on like let's just say libraries. Libraries wasn't deemed essential, but the only thing that was deemed essential was low income housing, transportation, and then anything that has to do with frontline, meaning medical services, right? So every other project that my company had at that time kind of got shut down. So it was like you had to work from home. Luckily, I was building a transportation garage. So because of transportation, I was deemed as essential. So we had to keep our distance, but I stayed working throughout the whole pandemic, like March, April, May, June. Like I never had a slow period. But then
Right.
later towards like November and December, well, I would say September, October, that's when it started getting slower for me. And I started doing a lot of working from home. But then at that time, I was putting a lot of footwork into my properties. So then I'm like, man, if y'all don't get me back to the field, I might not never come back. And that's just what happened. So,
Salute. That's what's up, man. So now you out here full time. You making it happen with the crib. So it's like, what's the move now? Like, so we need to have 30 cribs. We need to have 50 cribs. We're going to be doing flips. We just doing all rentals. What's the move?
yeah. So the goal is to just do all rental properties. Uh, I'm not a big flipper. I never did a flip, but I had opportunities too. But not that I didn't seek them out. It was just like I'm not big on just having one deal, right? Or just having one opportunity to make money. Like I want to make money as much as I can, as long as I can, right? So the goal for me is to literally continue to just buy residential properties, buy multifamily properties, get into apartments, and like eventually start developing, right? I want to build like 50, 60, 70 unit buildings from ground up, being able to like, and obviously make it low affordable housing. So like I'll make all my properties super duper nice, but I charge super duper low. And that's kind of how I like to do it. That's the same way I was doing with credit. I was giving services that people was charging $2,000 for $500. I want to keep it for my community because I was once in that same community, right? So like my goal was to literally, if I could, I'll put a 50 unit luxury apartment right on 52nd and Market. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the goal for me. So like eventually once we get there, we a couple years out, but sooner than later, hopefully.
Nah, that's what's up. I like that, man. That's super dope. So now going through that process of, because I didn't see you GC in your own project, so taking that degree and still using it in your everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
the multifamily conversion, like what's the hardest part in doing the real estate for you? Or is there anything that you would say is hard?
I'm gonna be honest. The hardest part for me right now is finding the properties. That's the hardest part.
Mm,
At at first, it was like, oh my God, like I ain't got the right contractors. Oh, I didn't have the money. Like as you go along your journey, you start to hit other obstacles. And that's how you know you're doing something right, right? So if it just becomes super duper easy, something ain't probably going as smooth as you think it is. Somebody backdooring you somewhere else. I don't know. It just never gonna be that way. However, right now, as of today, February what? February 3rd, 4th, the hardest part for me in my journey is finding the properties because as we all know, and if we don't, you make money when you buy, not when you sell things. So you have to buy the property right. And what I mean by that, you can't over leverage. You can't get the feelings into it. Like, I love that building. That's from Grandma Block. Man, Grandma, they selling that house for 40 grand too much. You know what I'm saying? But you buying it just because that's Grandma Block. You know what I'm saying? So like, I take my feelings out of it early on, if I even had my feelings in it. But now I'm at the point where it's though like I'm so ruthless. People saying they want 75,000. I'm like, yeah, I give you 20. Like, you know what I'm saying, like it's just you gotta buy it right in order to make money.
I hear that, and the numbers definitely is crazy. Like we all dealing with that issue right now, man. I
Absolutely.
feel like I don't be seeing people post their like, yo, I got this crib for 15, 35. Or I be like, where? How you
Right.
get? Oh, all right, you knew such and
But
such grandmom's best
yeah,
friend. All right, I
yeah,
hear that. Networking.
yeah, that's all it is.
All right. So I mean, those are the hard things. So I mean, like, being that like most people are trying to get to the where you're at. Like I said, you kind of jumped in this not fast, but you kind of went head first. I guess you would say, feet to the fire, and figured it out. So it's like, how would you even get over that fear just to even like, yo, I could do this. Like I figured this out. Because like I talk to a lot of people and they always like, I got this going on, I got that going on, or I'm all this, stuff I'm learning and I'm just learning and I'll get to it when I get to it. But it's like,
Right.
nah, you showed us like figure a piece of it out and put the other pieces together and look where you at now.
Hey, I ain't hear you say it in a while. I got some animosity towards A Lee right now. You ain't say it in a while. You used to say it all the time.
It's not that
Yeah.
complicated.
No, you used to say, I don't want to mess it up, but you used to say, just get started, figure it out along the way.
Yeah,
So
right.
that you told me that years ago, whether you knew it or not. You know what I'm saying? So like I was following you for years, and when I heard that, that was kind of almost everything I needed. Man, I did just that, right? So yes, I had the background knowledge of education because I went to school and I graduated in the honors. So I was a different kind of person coming into it. But for I never did a property. I never had a rehab. I never had to. And like I always tell people say, well, do you think I should start with a gut? I say yes, right? And the reason why I say yes is because it's just like this, right? I say yes all the time. Start with a gut. And the reason why I say that is because when my aunt taught me how to drive, but she taught me how to drive in a Tahoe. So when it was come time to taking my driver test and they put me in that little Hyundai Sonata, I was like this, like whipping it around, like crazy. And the guy was like, "You sure you don't got your license?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm here to get it today." Because I'm so advanced because I learned to drive with a bigger vehicle, i.e., put that into real estate. Your first deal, if you go into a deal with a gut job, you're gonna fall so many times. But once you because I know you're gonna keep getting back up, and you should, as you get back up with that particular property, when it comes time to doing property number two, you're gonna be lethal, like in a way of like you unstoppable. And everything after that becomes even easier because you already done dealt with one of the biggest tasks that you can face early on in your first project.
So I'm saying I agree with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta put the disclaimer to it because
No, it's always disclaimers.
so I'm saying I agree with you because I didn't do it that way. So I started doing the little baby cribs, little paint here, floor here, window, whatever, right? But it took me longer to get to where I'm at now versus if I'd have jumped in, like you said, early
Right,
on, ripping them and gutting them, right?
right.
I just didn't have a team, so I didn't know what I really was capable of. Um, but however, it's like you could slow walk it or you could get out there and run. So it got to depend on the person and their comfort, their personality, whatever. And also you got to know your situation. So like if you a person that know like, yo, this is my last $1,000 I got to do something safe
Yeah,
to make it work, you do that. But if you know, yo, I positioned myself, I got 10 bands,
yeah,
I can take a couple lumps and I'll still be okay. Hey, like I said, go for it. Because like you said, and like I said, after I did my first one and fully gutted it, like now, like you said, I know this stuff like, like I'm tying my shoe. It's not that hard. You know,
absolutely.
But it's just a matter, like you said, of just getting in the game, and now you can figure it out, and you will figure it out. Because like at the end of the day, I ain't gonna quit. I ain't gonna quit on myself. I go for it.
Yep, that's what it's all about, and I totally agree with you as well. But what I will say is that like having that as your first type of project, it's just I feel like that's gonna set you apart. That's just my take. That's just how I feel. And everybody's journey is different, and there's no two people, two things alike. I know and I get that. However, like success leave clues. That's the bottom line. Success leave clues. So if you taking the clues, if I'm following somebody that's successful and they leaving clues behind, and I'm following the clues, I ought to be successful just like them. So what I'm saying is, there's multiple ways of success because everybody can get there the same way. So just success leave clues. So where if you take a clue from here, a clue from here, as long as you're taking clues to get to that point, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Definitely. No, I like that, and just keep stacking them and putting them together.
Yep, it's like Legos.
Got you. So for people that's like just struggling with, like I said, just getting over that part. Like I heard you said earlier, like yo, just fell forward, figure it out. But it's getting out of your head. Like you got any tips like to get out of your head? Like if that's just your thing, like you just overwhelm yourself with the information kind of.
Yeah. So you breaking up a bit, but I heard your question. But what I will say is like educate yourself. Like definitely educate yourself. But most importantly, like don't be afraid to like try it. Like you know what I mean. Like you never gonna like we can't teach experience. Like me and Ann could talk on this phone all day long and talk about everything we've been through and how that was crazy. But it ain't gonna help you none of your journey. It really is really not. So the best thing I can say is literally get in the game and then figure it out along the way. But most importantly, we can't teach experience. So like once you lock in, like I mean, it's all these things I'm just learning. So like, you ever learn something later in life, but you like, I thought that like years ago, but you figured out it was a terminology for it today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I somebody say, you start to learn and then you knock the L off and then you begin to earn. For a very long time, I felt that way, but I never knew how to articulate that, right? So now that I'm in this space and I'm hearing people say that, and when I first heard that, it kind of went over my head. I'm like, I didn't even know what they spell at the moment. I'm like what? Knock the L off, thinking like couldn't figure it out. But one over and over. Oh, you know, you learn, then you take the L off. And one thing I say, take the L off. L, earn. Yeah. What? It blew my mind, but it was so it's something that I already had instilled in me years ago, not even knowing. So that's the main thing I can say. Just lock in, educate yourself, read. If I'm not a big reader, but you know, I mean, not now. I used to be when I was in college, but now I love audio books, and most importantly, I love podcasts. Like I will listen to a podcast from morning to night, just about different entry points into real estate, different exit points, because that's what it's all about: how to get into a deal and get out of a deal. And it's all about getting into the deal swiftly, getting out of the deal swiftly. And that's what I pride myself on, trying to get in to get out of deals as fast as I can.
How long taking you to rehab projects now?
I'm taking about like 50 days, 52 days, 50 days. Like basically we're gonna call it 60 days, but I lost a lot of days due to like inclement weather and then the holidays. So okay. I'm gonna say 2 months right now. But when I get to that project in March, when the springtime roll around, and I ain't got to wait for the compound to dry, my guy can go sanding later on that day. Though, trust me, I'm trying to knock that down to 30 days easily.
But even let's just take the 60-day approach. So if you could buy a property, and every 60 days you can get it turned and do the refi. Let's just say that's really a 90-day window from purchase to refi. Get that bag going to the next. So when a bad year, you could damn near do 4 cribs in a year. That's not bad. And like you said, you're doing multi-units. That's 8 units a year.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
8 units a year. And like, to be honest, that 90-day mark is very realistical. Like, that's very realistical, like, as far as, like, in and out, everything. And when I mean in and out, I mean buy, rehab, refinance, and rent it out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once I get the property rented out, like it's done. I'm never going to go there for the next 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Most of my leases are 2 years. And once it's running out, I know I did everything right. I didn't cut any corners, so you ain't gonna have no problem with no mechanicals. You ain't gonna have a problem with the roof leaking. I did it right the first go around, so now I can sleep peacefully at nighttime, knowing that my tenants is going to be paying me on the first of the month.
Which also is another reason why you should gut it out from the beginning, because that was one of my big killers is the properties in the beginning. I did what I needed, is what I should have done to save money, and those are the things that I end up paying for,
Yep.
over time for these little leaks and stuff, leaks, repairs, whatever the stuff. It don't mess up till people move in. That'd be the messed up thing, because everybody don't know how to do everything. So, and then so when you talk about the refi process, can you explain that for people who don't know? Like, and better yet, can you give us one place to refi? Because everybody right now keep asking everybody where they refi, and I think that's where a lot of people are struggling. Is some people saying Philly Federal Credit Union, but let me not. Let's see what your take on it is.
Okay, so the refinance process is literally when you do what? You force appreciation. So you buy a property low, you buy a distressed property at rock bottom. You then renovate the property and you do what? You force the appreciation. So you bought it for 40, you put 40 into it. But just because you put 40, you bought it for 40 and put 40 into it, doesn't mean that it's worth 80. It may be worth 200,000 at that point. You force the appreciation. But then now you have to do what? You have to stabilize that property by getting it rented out, right? So you got to rent the property out to whoever that you may know or someone, or you can put it on the private market. You can go subsidy housing, which is Section 8. But you need to do what? You need to actually stabilize that property by collecting rents. And then once you stabilize that property, you take that same exact forced appreciation property to the bank, and to the bank you want to get a long-term mortgage on it, typically anywhere from 20 to 30-year mortgage, right? So now at that point, the property, that bank, whoever you decide to go to, is going to send an appraiser out to tell you if the property is worth in its good condition. Let's say the property do appraise for 200 grand. Most lenders are letting you cash out 75% of that 200,000, which is 150. But mind you, bought your property for 40, you rehab it for 40. That's 80 together. But you just refi 150. So you pay back the 80 out of the 150 that you got, and you walk with the 70 in your pocket. But remember that 70 is a loan, so you don't get taxed on that money. So you're avoiding capital gains tax. So I had to put that in there because people don't understand that. But that's the whole play, the whole get up. And right now, you'd be surprised. And like I got like so many DMs of like, who you refining with right now? Everybody asking that question, right? And to be honest, right now I'm refining with Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, but I will give everybody a bank that I have been approved for. However, I chose to go with Philly Fed on this particular deal because I wanted to build a relationship, right? So I got approved to get refied at another place, and I'm going to give you all the bank now. The bank is called Univest Bank. Univest Bank. Unives. The Univest Bank gave me almost the same exact thing Philadelphia Federal gave me. They gave me the same percentage. They almost gave me the same exact rate. Like everything was identical, just two different names. However, I chose to go with Philly Fed because I want a longevity relationship, and I felt like it was harder for me to get through the hoops on Philly Fed versus Univest. So I feel like at any given point, I can go to Univest and go get that same approval again on another deal. That may not be the case with Philly Fed. So I chose to take Philly Fed for this opportunity. But best believe my next one, I'm going to build that relationship and kind of teeter and top back and forth.
Yeah, it's always good to have a backup just in case. You never know. Nuke, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, no, I wasn't sure. It was a delay.
Oh yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Nah, that's major, man. So like doing that is like really sky's the limit from there. Like you said, it's just a matter of, can I find enough cribs to fill the pipeline? And we talked about it last time. Like, as long as I got the credit and the cash, I just need to put it to work.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. I would never say it's easy because I understand what I felt like. I remember not being in this position and looking in and people saying it's easy, and I'm like, it's not easy. Like, don't say that. Like, and so I would never dare do that to somebody else that's maybe in that position. However, I'm gonna say it's doable. It's very doable. Once you get in, it's very doable. But what's so crazy is that, as Ant and I talk about it all the time, it's so many more resources today than it was last week. You know what I'm saying? So imagine 2-3 years ago. Like 2-3 years ago, it was almost scarce to try to find out who people were doing anything through. it was scarce to find out who was doing credit. Like it was almost scarce. But just imagine 2-3 years ago trying to get into the game, not having nearly as much research as today. So it's almost inevitable. It's almost impossible for you to fail as long as you follow the right people.
Right. So now it's crazy you say that. So like I was on the real estate, right? But the credit I would stay away from because I never could find nobody to teach me enough of it or to make it so I could understand it. So it wasn't until like me and you connected, you start teaching me the credit stuff. So, you know, and now like that's opened me up. And like you said, we talk about, I put my cousin on. My cousin went from a one credit score to another credit score literally in like 60 days. Now her score is 7 something. Her score better than mine on a high 7 something.
Right.
You know, and now like I'm telling all my, like you said, telling my folks and my family, like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. This is how you do it, like, yo, and just put the play together. And like you said, it came from just so much information and connecting with the right people. So it's like, yo, I need to know this. All right, yo, Aunt, I need to know this. And when you just run that synergy together.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Help each other out. Like I don't care about if I got information that can help you out. Like I consider myself, I'll be less of a man if I had something that can propel you and I'm holding it back. That's just my take. I ain't gonna hold it back, which is why some people say, yo, you give out way too much. Like, you know how many times they say I give out so much information? Like,
right.
I'm so transparent. I'm gonna say it here on this platform, and I had other entrepreneurs DM me being mad at me because I was telling free game out that they was teaching on a paid mentorship. And it's like, oh, I don't know that you teaching any of your mentorship. I didn't know that. I didn't even take your mentorship. But I apologize. I guess I'll stop teaching the people the free game. Like people was DMing me like, yo, you know I teach that, right? And I'm like, do you? Like, you teach that? Like, I found that on Google. Like, like you teach that? Like, so it was at the point where as though like I had to kind of like scale back on like what I told because people was like getting offended that I was teaching something on my free platform.
On an open platform, right?
On an open platform for free. Like, but they were charging people thousands to get that same game. So it was like I had to kind of scale back because I didn't want tensions in this world because I'm a nice person. So, but it was crazy, man. So nevertheless, there's a lot of information out here that you all can gain and get. So just keep following and keep tapping in and keep feeding your brain. Because like I said, once you learn the information, eventually you would then knock that L off and begin to earn that money. So like, that's the bottom line.
Nah, definitely major. And like you said, it just once you get into it enough, it's like, yo, it's second nature now. Now it's better how much you want to earn. Now that's the question.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's, I mean, I'm gunning for 6 figures a month. Like if I can get 6 figures a month, I will be okay. And we all know 6 figures is the minimum that you can have is 100,000. So,
well, not to mention though, let's definitely salute to you, man. You did a crazy give back, so we know it's not necessarily about the money, but the impact that you're gonna make. So I mean, so I'm definitely like, yo, I got to link with you next year when you do that toy drive because like, yo, we can help that many more people. You know. Be able to make an impact in these kids' lives. So it's like, yo, I definitely like, yo, it's not people like, yo, you need. No, it's not necessarily about me, but it's the other people I'm gonna be able to help out with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Until you don't Ant, right? So like, you know, I bought like 6 properties in 1 year. So I'm a homeowner now. So like, you know, and then my leases like I had some properties that was getting renovated during the time, so I don't have a tenant there. So obviously the snow came and the snow at that property. So I had to go shovel this property out because it's not occupied at the moment, right? So, and like to your point about like helping other people, it's not about me. I was coming on my property. I seen 2 little kids hold shovels walking down the middle of the street, like because the street is like clear now, so they wasn't walking on the pavement. So I said, hey, I stopped them. They turned around. I see they're trying to make some money. So both kids walked back and was like, yeah. I said, all right. So, you know, me, I'm very sociable with everybody. I'm like, how much y'all think this job is worth? They both said $20, like this. So I'm like, $20 a piece? They said, no, 10 and 10. So I said, I think this is a $10 job per piece. So I said, how about I hire y'all for the day? How about I give y'all the $20? You guys shovel I said, I'm going to hire you guys. You shovel my snow off my property and, you know, make sure you make it look nice and everything. Kind of like my neighbors, right? They said, okay, cool. But I couldn't stay around to watch the children do the work. I had to leave because I was pressed for time. But nevertheless, I said, hey, I'm going to get a $20 to you all, but make sure you all shovel the snow. And when I come back, I hope I see it done. Yeah, I got you. I won't even do that. I gave the $20 to the kids to shovel the snow, right? I left like I needed to go. I came back to the property today. Not one piece of snow was shoveled. But
No.
yeah, it was bad. And they were younger kids, probably like both of them under the age of 12. And the reason why I tell you that story is because like even by me helping them, I don't know they probably needed that money, which and I'm not going to lose any sweat or earn or sleep over that $20. But it's the fact that I'm constantly giving opportunities, right? And that's what I love about real estate. I love that by me providing opportunities as far as real estate, not only do I get to hire contractors and provide, them opportunity to get a job, but I provide opportunity for somebody to live comfortably in a nice property for like a very low cost. So that's why real estate, I'm going to continue to do it because it's not about me. Yeah, the check is good at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month, but it's more so creating opportunities for other people, to your point. So that's why I like it a lot.
Nah, that's definitely major. That's why I say, man, you a good young humble dude, man. Definitely out here doing it big. Did we miss any questions? I think I ain't even peeped.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
Somebody in here said Philly kids don't play.
Yeah, they don't, man. They but it's all good. I paid before it, and hopefully they help. Hopefully they gave their little brother the younger brother something.
Nah, that's major, man. So going into so 2020, we got the year that was the position year. You got the 11 units. Going into 2021, how we kicking off? You got a number in mind to rock off 2021?
Yeah, my goal this year is 12 properties.
Okay.
So my goal this year is 12 properties because I want to do one property a month. However, I'm not playing with most single families. So
technically 24 units then. So you're trying to double it last year.
Yeah, minimum 24 units minimum, because at least I'm buying a property that can be converted to at least a duplex, right? Like I'm not even touching single families. Like the only way I'm getting a single family is you basically saying, "Yo, honey, this is a single family crib." Like you basically giving it to me. But if not, I'm not touching them, right? So like at minimum, I'm going to try to do 24 units this year alone, whether it comes from a 5 unit or 4 unit, whatever. But my goal is to be at the closing table once a month this year.
Okay.
So that's the goal. But like I mentioned like earlier, my favorite part of the whole process is literally seeing people come to work every single day, happy to get the job done. Me see the property come to life, but then I know that they go home to something like they got paid good on that Friday. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. And then to see the people faces when like so now I'm at the point where I'm no longer doing the showings for the properties when it comes time to rent it out. But when I hear the people excitement over the phone, like, oh my God, like this is the best house I. So to see that they so excited to be in one of my units is like, it's almost slim to none. Like I wouldn't trade that in the world for anything. So I love providing opportunities for people throughout the entire journey, because as I buy the property, I need the construction for it. As I refi the property, I need that lender that get the commission for it. Like everybody gets some piece of opportunity to make money when I did one simple thing, which is buy a building. So by buying the building, I done help so many people make money throughout the journey. So it's phenomenal. Like it just really is. It's a blessing.
Nah, that's major, man. For anybody that right now, I would say that's looking to, find more information about this, like the real estate game, you also have a class coming up?
Absolutely. So
We're not supposed to tell them that yet?
No. Yeah, I do, but I'm not gonna tell them the date just yet. So I have a class coming up in March. So for those who have been following me or just tapping in now, so I have a program called the Intensified Builders Learning Academy, which is my real estate summit. I had one in December 5th. That was my first time. It was phenomenal. Just like tap in and see kind of the results. But I'm having that same type of class, obviously tweaked a little bit, this upcoming March. Yes, it will be in person. We will be practicing social distancing. The venue that we're going to be having it at can hold anywhere from like 500 individuals, but we're only going to have a portion of that. So it's enough space for everybody to kind of be spread apart. But it's going to be phenomenal. That class is going to be something that we're going to be dropping the tickets very soon. And hopefully everybody can come to it. I know you wasn't able to make it last one, but hopefully you're able to come out to this one. But it's going to be phenomenal. We're going to be teaching you everything from foundational stuff as far as credit. We're going to teach you. Everybody love this, and I'm gonna say it here. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm going to teach you at the class. I'm going to teach you how to get 7 to 10 credit cards with only 2 to 3 inquiries. That's everybody. When I say that, people like, wait, what? And then once I teach you how to get that credit card with those little bit of inquiries, I'm going to teach you how to take the money off the credit card to go buy assets. That's the whole get up. And then what assets I'm talking about? Me, I love real estate, so of course I'm going to urge you to buy real estate. But you can buy trucks, you can buy whatever you desire. But my goal is for you to buy real estate. So that's kind of what the class encapsulate. But it's going to be dragged out along an 8-hour day.
Nah, that's major. I'm gonna talk to management because I was supposed to come to the last one, like you said, but management and them got crossed lines, so I don't know. I missed the email or I ain't see the email. I don't know, but we gonna
Absolutely.
tell management, yo, make sure Ant get the invite. Send me the Google invite. I'm in that junk.
No doubt. You definitely gotta be at this one, man, because it was definitely a blessing.
Now, I heard.
Yeah,
I heard.
it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. Like I watch the videos every day and still like get chills to know that happened. Like I'm like, that's me. Like that's me doing that. Like it was crazy, bro. It's a blessing, and just to see people like so many other same people that came to that class has already started to get money, has already started to get their properties. Like one of my mentees bought 3 properties in one day from an auction. I'm like, oh, I never even closed on 3 properties in a day yet. Like she just surpassed me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a blessing to see that.
Nah, that's dope. Like you said, and it'd be crazy because you'd be like, yo, I told you this one thing and you took it and
You ran with it.
went crazy.
And did your old plugins and tweaked it, and then you got this whole like I'm riding around in a lawnmower, you riding around in a Banshee. Like it's crazy. Like to see people how they implement the things. Like because we all know information changes situation with only implementation. So
Right.
you have to implement the information in order to see that change. So it's just like me seeing those things happen throughout the months, and it's only been like 2-3 months to see people buy 3 properties in one day. And I never bought 3 properties in one. Like that's crazy to me. So like now I'm just tapping in with them and just kind of taking along their journey. And as they hit problems that I hit before, I'm like, I knew this was gonna come. I'm happy that you let me know how you're doing this. So like I can't before you, but I'm glad that they doing and going the same route. But obviously like having that class and kind of expedite their success a little bit more so they don't got to go through all the pitfalls that I went through in my journey.
Definitely, man. Well, definitely, like I said, if I could be at any resource, let me know. Definitely always love and support whatever you got going on, man.
Absolutely.
Especially for the generation unders, man. Like I'm not that much older than you, but I still struggle with it's a little disconnect. It is just a little. And I just be like, yo, but like me and you vibe, we talk all the time. So you know,
Right.
it's, yo, I know it's not fine speaking Chinese to you or whatever. So it's like, yo, like we just gotta figure out how to bridge them gaps and keep pulling up. I feel like the generation before me, not that they didn't do their job, but like, yo, like you said, they wasn't as open with the information and they wasn't sharing it like they like we sharing it now. Like you said, we just what you want to know, yo, go to BMT. What you need, hit Nude up, get them inquiries. You know what I mean, all right, you need to buy a crib, hit and up. It ain't no rat. Like it's
Right.
not no secret. Like we all want to go on these vacations and live it up.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy too, because right, like my mother, she's in the 40 age bracket, right? And she don't have no credit cards. Like she like, oh, I ain't messing with that stuff, boy. No. My mom been at her same job for like 20 years. Like that's what they were taught to do. Get a job, make their supervisor, manager, boss happy, do their job to their best of their abilities, and don't borrow money from people. Right? That's like the principality that they live upon. And like it's consistent across like that age bracket. Like anybody 40 and above but kind of believes that. Like I don't got a credit card. You know how many people I talk to that's 40, 45, 50? Like they never had a credit card like ever. So like even me now telling my mom like you gonna get a credit card. And you can get this one and we gonna do this one. So now as she's getting credit cards and stuff, like she's like, all right, it ain't so bad after all. And I'm like, I told you. So now she's seeing the benefits, the reward points, and travel for free. It just like it opened up a whole nother world. So for those individuals that's 40 and above, if somebody in here, the best thing I can say is kind of scoop down a little bit to this younger generation. So you'll see that the banks is giving out money left and right. So definitely you need to get some of that.
Take it and use it in moderation. So you know, again, what's the rule? 30%. Don't
30.
use more than 30%.
Yeah.
But it's okay to have a couple cards.
Yeah.
And then again, yo, you know you're getting paid. So when you get paid, take the time out, pay that card. I just was telling somebody today, like on Facebook, I hate that I pay my credit cards in full every month just because I hate giving the money away or giving the money back rather. But it's so rewarding seeing my rewards. Like you said, I just looked at my joint messing with you
Right.
and niche credit medics. Like, yo, I had these rewards I just been stacking between my Chase and American Express. You know, I had to hit that the travel rewards to see what I was working with.
Yeah.
Your boy got a hotel stay locked in there.
Man, and imagine that's what I'm saying. Like, so imagine you get an opportunity where you got a card that does what? Give you free travel far as flights. You got another card that give you free lodging, which is stays. You got another card that give you cash back. So not only did you fly for free, you stayed for free, and you spent money on your vacation for free. Like that's like a triple whammy right there. Like but it's all off of regular monthly spend. If somebody has a regular $2,000 monthly bill, only thing they got to do is pay that monthly bill, $2,000, and pay it back. You was automatically going to spend it anyway. Next month, use the other card. Next month, use the other card. Now you have to build reward points up on 3 different cards: flights, lodging, and cash back. And then now you encompass that all together. You got a bomb trip somewhere, maybe Turks and Caicos possibly. So, like to your point, Ant, man, I love credit cards. I don't think I have cash. But I don't even deal with cash no more, bro. It's all credit for me. Like everything put on the credit card.
Right. Now, well, definitely, man. Like you said, it's information changes things, man. It's a wonder, and but it's more so that, and you got to be disciplined. That's the other part. So it's not. Because I know when I first, like I said, I had them, impulses. Like, yo, I'm trying
Right.
with the chicks. I'm trying to go ball out, KOP. Go down like doing.
Yep. And it come over time, you know what I mean? Like some people get it earlier than others, but once you get it, it's better late than never, right? That's my thing. Better late than never. So no matter when you get it, as long as you're able to get it, know you got it, and don't lose it, that's all it's about, right? As long as
if you lose it, now you know how to go get it back. That's the thing.
That's the key. That's why like everybody talk about this. I want to teach you how to fish, so I never gotta feed you again, right? Because when you come and say, "Hey, can I have or can I get this?" and I give you out of my own, then it's less for me, right? So because I'm giving to you, which is okay, right? Because I'm not counting what I'm doing. However, like if you do what? If I teach you how to fish, you don't gotta come back to me at all. You go ahead and get your rod together. You go ahead and put your bait on the same exact way I taught you, and now you getting more fish than I'm getting. But now you eating. That's what it's all about.
Nah, we'll definitely appreciate you, man. I know you got your class getting ready to take over, so I won't hold you up. But any last tips or suggestions? Like, what's the audio book you listening to right now?
So right now, I'm not listening to an audio book, but I'm listening to this podcast. I'm listening to a podcast from the Bigger Pockets right now. It's one. It's called it's called the multifamily conversion. That's what it's like. Me, I'm really into that right now. Like me, I'm converting properties because the single family is not there for me, right? But I'm listening to that podcast from Bigger Pockets about multifamily conversions. And one thing about Bigger Pockets, they got people from all over the nation that gives these podcasts on one platform. So like I'm listening to people from like Nebraska, Oklahoma, right? I'm like, what the heck? They got accents, but I love it because I'm just hearing about different things that's going on. But I would say one tip that I would give, and I think like it changes every so often, but like not only get started, but most importantly, like seek and ask questions along the way. Like don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to fail because you will do it. But most importantly, like just get acclimated. Like once you get in, like how Ian just said, like if you do lose it, now you know that you can get it back, or you know how to get it back. Just knowing the how to can take you a long way in your journey because you now have the how to do it. And most importantly, now guess what? You put yourself in a position to create residual income, monthly cash flow, and then generational wealth. So as you continue to build on those things get bigger, and then we start talking about like I don't want to call it wealth. I don't want to call it rich, but we're gonna call it wealthy, right? So then it just gets bigger and bigger. So just get in the game as fast as you can, and as they all say, don't wait to get in real estate. Get in real estate and then wait.
Yeah. On that note, I'm gonna let you sign out.
Absolutely.
For you who want any more information, check out Newt's page. He got the event coming up in March. Newt, the entrepreneur. We definitely appreciate you. Become a cohort. He making people's lives change, man.
Yep. For anybody interested, you can shoot me a DM. My team will get back with you. Our class is coming up very shortly, so the ticket's gonna be dropping. Make sure you get it, and I'd love to see you all there.
For sure, man. And then got a surprise for you. We got another guest coming up after Newt. So
Okay.
literally 9 o'clock, come back, lock back in. We gonna give y'all some more free games for the night. That's what we do. And then don't forget, next week we doubling back. I got a super dope dad coming on next week. Dwayne, Janelle's husband. Janelle was on here. She a heavy hitter. So they got a tag team going on, husband and wife. They, you know, a resource within each other's home. So, you know, Dwayne is getting on here. He going to give up some game next week and tell him how he been doing the multifamily conversions as well and build a portfolio.
I gotta connect that. I need you to connect them dots for me because Janelle definitely heavy. That's somebody that I've been following.
Well, no, don't forget in the group. He in the group. So, you know,
That's Dwayne in the group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, we already I told you, in the mix.
Mix. Have it. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and chat him right now. No, I appreciate that though, bro. You take care.
Will do, man. Tell everybody I said what's up, man. Definitely. I see y'all at 9 o'clock. So go get your popcorn, take a bathroom break, and do what y'all do. I see y'all in a couple minutes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.